I've seen it. I loathed it. Star Trek Trash Fire. I mean, Lower Decks. Hey there, this is Tom from Tom's Tech Show, and I have watched the second episode of Star Trek Trash Fire. I will no longer be calling it Lower Decks because that doesn't give the respect to the Next Generation Lower Decks episode that was there. That was so good. I mean, I actually covered this in my episode one kind of review about how horrible this treats and what disrespect it does to the Next Generation episode Lower Decks. So if you want to go and check my episode one review out, I'll link that down below. Before we get started, if you could do me the favor, just like all other YouTube videos, head over to my channel and subscribe, see if there's anything there you like. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notifications, fine. If not, that's fine too. Subscribing actually helps me at this point better than anything else. And all your other small YouTubers, go ahead and subscribe to them because I know they all appreciate it. All right, thanks. Let's jump in here to this, oh my gosh, this thing. So, all of my videos on this are going to have this image that I've created because I think it's very appropriate to, this is the new logo for me for Star Trek Trash Fire because it's basically a trash fire. The first thing I notice, of course, is if they're trying to go after a much younger audience, like a kid audience, like the original Star Trek animated series could have been watched by people of all ages, and that's what Star Trek was very inclusionary of all ages. Anyone, any age could watch. When I was a kid growing up, we were out there eating dinner, watching Star Trek, the whole family. Not this TV-14 language violence stuff. That I'm just not okay with that being in Star Trek. That was dealt with in the voyage home. He's the whole saying, Spock asks Kirk, what's with all the colorful metaphors? And he says that's how they talk back then, not how we talk now, how they talk back then. So you're again doing disservice and not honoring what Star Trek is. Okay, so the first thing the episode starts out with is this completely pointless, unnecessary, unneeded, goes nowhere, does nothing scene about a little glowing entity coming on board and telling them, we're going to take over. I'm going to have you do what I want you to do. And they proceed just to mock it and try and shove it in one of the little cans that's there. And we've seen this in other episodes from back in original Star Trek. There's a show called The Day of the Dove, where this entity gets the crew of the Enterprise and the crew of a Klingon ship together on the Enterprise and puts them at odds with each other. Right? They helps to maintain, using its energy to help maintain their strength, maintain their battle numbers, maintain the aggression between the two groups. Kind of like CNN, right? They're there just to heat up things and make people hate each other. Even though in the real world, most people don't hate each other like CNN thinks, but I guess we can rename this entity to the CNN entity. But that was one. And then in, of course, the Next Generation, there's the child episode where this entity comes and impregnates Deanna Troi and becomes a child and grows up and wants to see what it's like to become a child and become a human and live as a human and see how we live. Okay, so it's doing its own exploration by doing that. Okay, so in the Trash Fire episode here, they're just here just to mock everything that was. That all of those episodes, they're here to mock that and just stick it in a can and tell it to go away. And they order it around and make it do things, and it's pointless. Again, taking things that we know in original Star Trek, Next Generation Star Trek, and create a mockery of them. Okay, so this relationship between, who are these people? This is Sam Rutherford, and I don't know who the other person is. It's not interesting enough to care. because these characters are instantly forgettable. Well, they have whatever this relationship they keep saying that they have, and she says, "Well, I want to go look at this whatever quasar thing tonight," and he's like, "Well, I have to be in the Jeffries tube," and he's like, "Well, I'll get a different job." So he goes around to all the jobs on all the ships during the day, and either makes a mockery of them or doesn't really want to do them, and he ends up just back in the Jeffries tube. And she's like, "Well, I'll just bring a little computer display and I'll watch it on there while we're hanging out together." You couldn't have suggested that in the beginning and made the whole part of the story pointless. Well, the whole part of the story was pointless, and pretty much everything about it is pointless. Is there a repeating theme? Is there some kind of theme here that is going beyond what you think of pointless and meandering and mockery? I don't know. Then there's this whole thing where these two, Mariner and Boimir go out and they got to get this Klingon guy and deliver him to a planet. And the whole scene in the shuttle is only about mocking Boimir because he's obviously a white cis male, so he must be mocked at every turn. And that's pretty much the whole end of the episode is all about that. The Klingon takes the ship away and leaves them stranded on some planet, so they wander around getting into situations where Boimler can't do anything and is pointless, and Mariner has to save him because we must mock him. So, and again here, of course, more mocking, and she has to be the one saving him completely all the time. And we're bringing back some trappings from, of course, the Next Generation, where they have this Horgon thing here. This is from, let's see, this is from Star Trek Captain's Holiday, so that looks very familiar. So they're trying to throw some things in there that are, familiar to people, thinking like, oh, if we just stick this here, that means everybody's going to go and watch everything and love all the other stuff, right? They're going to like our episode because we put this little thing here. No, because this was not on this planet. This was on Risa, not on the planet that they went to. So you're mixing your everything around, and you're not even paying attention to what's going on. You're just blatantly throwing stuff in here, just trying to get people to go, "Oh, look, wow, oh, ha 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 ha." No, I don't think so. And then the only time when Boimler, or whatever his name is, I don't know, who knows, who cares. The only time he actually makes a good decision was when they meet up with the Ferengi and all that, but turns out no, because she, I guess, didn't want him to feel bad, so Mariner set this whole thing up with the Ferengi so that I guess she could. It further mocks Boimler in that the only way that he can actually accomplish anything and make a good decision if it's set up to be completely easy by her. So, and then that's basically the episode. They drop the Klingon. They find the Klingon. They drop him off where he's supposed to be dropped off, and then they all fly away for whatever reason. And and every bit of it is this. Complete this. Okay, so that's Star Trek Trashfire Episode 2. We can still check the Rotten Tomato score. They do not have the Rotten Tomato score up for Episode 2 yet. They haven't even really posted it for Episode 1. They just have the general number, which went up a little bit. It's at 34 now. Wow, way to go. And in the details, if you look at Top Critics, that's up to 42. Wow, yay. Not even halfway. Super. So, yeah, it's a consensus that the whole thing is garbage. So, okay, there we go. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Talk to you later.